What's going on, guys? This is going to be our What If Episode 4 review. We are going to be doing some spoilers. If for any reason you have not seen this episode and you don't want to get spoiled, click away, come watch the episode, and then come back to this review. If you don't care about spoilers, continue on because we're going to spoil away. Now, I really thought Episode 1 was okay to decent to good, somewhere in that range. I thought it did really help with getting me invested in the show. I thought the whole concept and idea was good. Episode 2 I loved with T'Challa as Star-Lord. Episode 3 I really enjoyed as well with all the Avengers from the first film being picked off one by one by Hank Pym. This one is by far my favorite one. I loved this episode. I thought it was really unique and interesting. What we saw in the first Doctor Strange film, the actual film, not this one, is what happens when Doctor Strange loses his hands. And I thought the idea and the concept of this episode, what happens when Doctor Strange loses his heart, was a very interesting and methodical idea, and I just really loved this episode. What about you, Jay? What do you think?
Yeah, I thought this episode was sick. For me, it's either this one or episode 2 as my favorite. I'm not sure which yet. I still think maybe 2 has it by a little bit, but this one was really good. And this one gave me... It kind of gave me, I don't know why I'm blanking on the name. It gave me Final Destination vibes, where like no matter what he tried to do, she kept dying anyway. At least in that sequence.
Yeah.
And then it kind of drove him crazy, and then the Ancient One had that idea to split in half him in the same reality. So I thought that whole concept was super interesting.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's interesting how you bring up Final Destination. I didn't even think about that, but that's an interesting...
It was mostly just in the scene where like he kept going back and back.
Where Christine is...
And butterfly effect, too.
Yeah, butterfly effect.
A mix between those two.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting comparison. I didn't really, put those two together, so definitely interesting to think about there. But yeah, no, that's a great comparison. I really, too, got to say, I love the whole idea of just him messing with time like that and seeing the ramifications of what happens. Because I got to say, first of all, let's talk about that action sequence where the two Doctor Stranges are fighting each other.
Yeah,
I know it's animated, so it's hard to compare to live action.
But really well animated.
Yeah, but it was, as you said, it's very well animated. But I'd say one of my favorite Doctor Strange fights probably is obviously when we see him fight Thanos in Avengers Infinity War. That fight is just so sick where they're using the mirror dimension, fighting with the Infinity Gauntlet. You guys know the rest, obviously. You know that fight sequence by now. I thought this fight sequence almost matched that, even though it's an animated show. It was really well done, and watching them go back and forth because they're really the same person, except one's a little more got a little more of a dark heart, and the other one's more pure at heart.
And he's absorbed all those other magical creatures and stuff.
Right, of course. And I just thought the whole fight sequence was just. It had a lot of tension. It was really frightening and just really interesting because you feel for both Doctor Stranges there. Of course, you get the motivation and why he's doing what he's doing. That's, to me, even though he's technically the antagonist of this, those are my favorite types of antagonists, as I've mentioned many times in other videos. The ones where you understand and feel their motivations and you don't quite agree with them, but you understand and get why they're doing what they're doing. And that fight sequence was just so well done. But I gotta say, when he finally did, when the reality was just kind of wiping itself away because of what he was doing, I gotta say, when he asked the Watcher to interfere and say, take me, don't let everyone suffer for what I did, and I was almost in tears at that point. Like I really felt for Doctor Strange. He just wanted to save the one he loved. It's kind of like the Flash in Flashpoint Paradox, where he wants to save his mother and doesn't understand the ramifications of what he's doing. It kind of had that kind of effect for me. And, just seeing what happens here and just seeing Doctor Strange, even when he's got that dark heart and all those monsters absorbed in him, he's still Doctor Strange at heart and still felt horrible about what was transpiring. And then seeing, how he's literally stuck by himself in a black hole at the end. It was so horrific and terrible. And I felt so sad and horrible for him, even though he caused this. I couldn't believe they went to that territory. It was great and sad.
Too little, too late, Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
But that was actually probably my favorite part of the episode is that it didn't end on a happy note. It ended, the universe was destroyed.
Oh, yeah. But that's why they
That
call
was-
it What If. I mean, I'm glad, for sure, I'm glad they didn't end it on a happy note, too. I think that was the proper and smart way to do it.
yeah, no, they took the dark route, and I think it made it pay off even more.
Yeah, it was for sure dark, no doubt. And also, too, someone pointed this out to me, actually, one of my baseball students. He said, I don't know if he's correct on this, but it was something for me to think about. Do you remember the moment, Jay, in the first Doctor Strange film where he's in the library, he kind of hears a noise and is looking around but isn't sure what it is? Do you remember that scene or not
You know,
really?
he thinks that's the Watcher.
Could possibly be the Watcher. I mean, just something to think about.
Maybe he did say in this that he sensed his presence. So I mean, but I don't think they were thinking about that back then. So I don't know. I actually don't know. I can't. I'd have to see the scene again. I haven't seen it in a while.
But
so.
I just thought when he pointed out, I was like, interesting theory. I'm not saying it's correct theory, but that's an interesting theory.
Yeah.
So.
You know, they could have been thinking about this stuff far back, so who knows? And speaking of the Watcher, I thought it was cool, like, you kind of see him a little more up close in this one, and I feel like he really kind of has, like, Jeffrey Wright's face. I wonder if, for this kind of thing, if either the animation is just that good, or they actually use a little bit of, like, motion capture type of
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, in the MCU, they're really, they've used Andy Serkis before because he's part of the MCU, and Mark Ruffalo is clearly the main guy for
I mean, not to the extent of that, and like they acted out the whole thing, but maybe just like a picture or like just one capture to kind of get the gist of the face. Because I feel like the Watcher really looked like Jeffrey Wright in this episode specifically.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. But either way, the animation is top notch.
Oh yeah,
the voice
super cool.
casting is. I'm glad they got Benedict Cumberbatch.
That kind of makes it because and I got like Smog vibes from his dark form, like in the fight. Like he had that deep kind of low rumble.
Well,
yes, yeah, it was good.
No, for sure. It was like I said. I know this is kind of yin and yang for you with episode 2, and episode 2 is probably my second favorite one, but this was my favorite one. I love the dark, deep, and sad places this one went to, and.
Yeah.
Like I said at the beginning of this episode, I love the whole concept and idea. What happens if Doctor Strange loses his heart rather than his hands? It's a really interesting what if. I really love where this show is going. I know each storyline is always a different story and different take, but this one was personally my favorite. I'm really excited to see what next week's episode is going to be. But for sure, this one was my favorite.
Yeah, this one was awesome. I really liked it, and I'm really glad. Like, it's so interesting. Like, the fact that it's a cartoon lets them kind of go crazy with some of these stories. So I think it was a really, because like when I first heard about this show coming out, like I didn't really know what to expect, but it's definitely been exceeding my expectations.
Oh yeah, I completely agree for sure. And in my opinion, each episode just gets better and better and better and more interesting.
In a way, yes. Like episode 3, I thought was really good too. So kind of on par with 2, 3, and 4. 1, not that it was bad. It just didn't hit the level of these ones.
Yeah, it just also felt like a carbon copy of Captain America: The First Avenger.
Yeah, I kind of think that too.
As Steve. I mean, of course, obviously, we did see Steve, in that Iron Man type suit, which was a little different than what happened in the events of the. But other than that, it was kind of. It
was pretty much the same. Yeah,
but I like how the different routes these other ones are taking. Like, I mean, when you see Thanos working with T'Challa, and like that's completely a different route than anything from Guardians of the Galaxy or Black Panther or whatever. And then I like when they take these totally different routes, and obviously when the Avengers are being picked off by Hank Pym and he's using a yellow jacket type of suit, like totally, and Hope is dead, totally different route than a carbon copy of like.
Isn't he just using the Ant-Man suit?
Well, yeah, he's using the Ant-Man suit, but it's also the yellow jacket suit as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's like a combination of both suits.
Cool. I thought this one was really cool, and can't wait to see what happens next week.
For sure. Well, let us know in the comments section, what did you guys think about this episode? Also, we'd love to hear your thoughts. What was your favorite moment in this episode? What parts did you maybe not like as much? Which episodes are your favorite as well? We'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments. Are you also looking forward to the upcoming episodes? Please let us know. We'd love to hear what you guys think. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. We are going to be reviewing the rest of the episodes, so if you don't want to miss that, subscribe if you have not already. Hit that notification button so you can get so you can be known right away when we upload the videos. Also, too, it really does help in the algorithm if you hit the like button. We are trying to grow as a channel, so we really would appreciate that if you could share the video as well. Again, we would really appreciate it if you feel we deserved it. Until the next video, we will see you guys next time.